Thanks, Adam. And yeah, sorry again for all of you expecting Nick. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it over from Brisbane, but hopefully you can make do with me for today. So I'm going to arrogantly assume that most of you know a little something about the SolGold story. So today I just want to go over some of the most important points and give you an update on where we're at. So SolGold has made one of the most significant copper-gold discoveries in recent history, and the Alpala maiden mineral resource estimate announced early this year is just the beginning. Since mid-December, when the MRE was calculated, we've completed over 56,000 extra metres of drilling, so over double. And a rig has also moved to Aguanaga, which is already delivering promising visual results. But SolGold is much more than just Cascabel. We have 73 other concessions across the country, and these are already identifying several new projects. In addition to being the largest concession holder in Ecuador, we have a strong technical team. Led by Jason Ward, Ben Whistler, and Steve Garwin, we have 42 exploration geologists at Cascabel and 42 exploration geologists working across the regional concessions. They're predominantly Ecuadorian, and a third of them are women. We've also just appointed our study manager for Cascabel. Ecuador is committed to developing a long-term sustainable mining industry, and SolGold is at the forefront of the Ecuadorian government helping them to do this. We have a highly experienced board and management team who are adept at creating and running this type of dynamic resource company. The team is also significantly invested, and many of you will know Nick is passionate about running the company in the best interests of its shareholders, as he's a large one. He has an outstanding record of delivering shareholder value, and SolGold will not be an exception. He has been instrumental in the creation of 9 resource companies, which attained a combined market cap of $5.7 billion when they were taken over. SolGold has also received the endorsement from Newcrest via several investments at premiums to the market price. Newcrest is currently our largest shareholder at just under 15% and has a board seat which Craig Jones fills. Newcrest is a non-blocking holder, and it must follow board recommendation and 60% of non-Newcrest shares in a change of control transaction. This agreement alone demonstrates Nick's ability to negotiate with the majors and ensure SolGold shareholders are a priority. Finally, SolGold has $80 million in the bank to fulfill its strategy, both at Cascabel and the regional projects, through to the end of 2019. So I've already taken you through Newcrest Holding, and we're also pleased to have the support of industry names Pat Sheridan and Scott Caldwell via Guyana's investments. Other major shareholders include ASX-listed DGR, which Nick runs, and he also has a 5.35% personal holding. We also have the support from institutions JPM and BlackRock, which we've recently brought into the company. And part of our strategy has been to institutionalize the register, to provide us with the shareholder base that is capable of writing the necessary checks to fund the development of the Cascabel project as we go forward, and this process is ongoing. In the hunt for large porphyry systems, SolGold moved from the Solomon Islands to Ecuador at the beginning of 2012. The exploration team was excited by the Andean copper belt, which produces half of the world's copper. It has a conducive physical and geological environment that has regularly and repeatedly produced Tier 1 copper mines. But it's not just about the geology. Ecuador is embracing the mining industry and is making significant advancements to further its already attractive investment conditions. Former mining minister Javier Cordova established the Mines Ministry in 2015 and worked hard to initiate a sustainable and long-term mining industry, and Rebecca Alescas is continuing this work. Mining is on track to become the second pillar of Ecuador's economy during this government term, and it's a key component of Ecuador's strategy to diversify its oil-dependent economy. $4 billion in mining investment is expected by 2021. We've liked Ecuador for 5 years, and now the world's major mining companies are arriving. Newcrest, BHP, Anglo, Fortescue, Hancock, Barrick are all invested in current projects, made significant advancements to secure concessions, or have just set up an office to be close to the action. The due diligence required to make these investments is a big endorsement of the prospectivity of Ecuador and its attractive investment climate. So focusing on SolGold in Ecuador, we hold 74 concessions across the country via 5 subsidiary companies. We have an 85% interest in Cascabel via our 85% holding in ENSA. TSXV listed Cornerstone Capital holds the remaining 15 and is debt carried to feasibility. Following feasibility, Cornerstone must repay 15% of the costs since SolGold's initial £2.5 million initial investment. If Cornerstone can't contribute to no less than 10% of the development costs, they dilute down to a 0.5% NSR, which we can buy for £3.5 million. Since implementing our pan-Ecuadorian strategy of acquiring prospective concessions across the country, SolGold has created 4 new 100% owned subsidiaries. These subsidiaries are geographically organized from Cruz del Sol in the south to Carnegie Ridge in the north, and each subsidiary has its own technical team, and they're already rapidly discovering many outcrops and significantly mineralized copper-gold porphyry systems, which I'll touch on a bit later. Okay, so the Cascabel Project, as you know, is our most advanced project in northern Ecuador. Compared to projects being developed in the high Chilean Andes, we believe Cascabel's significant logistical advantages can deliver approximately $3 billion in capex savings. We're a 3-hour drive from Quito. We're 180 kilometers from the deep water port Esmeraldas. We have fresh water supplies, good hydropower network, and a supportive local workforce. So these factors really shouldn't be underestimated when considering the economics of the project. So we've drill tested 8 of the 15 targets over the 50 square kilometre tenement, and as you know, these have concentrated on the Alpala porphyry cluster. But a rig has also just moved to Aguanaga, and man-portable rigs will move to Tandayama, America in the near future. We're intersecting a strongly mineralized system at Aguanaga, and we're now on our 2nd hole. The Cascabel drill program for 2018 comprises of 120,000 meters of planned drilling, focusing on extending the Alpala resource southwest, northwest, and southeast, as well as further drill testing at Aguanaga. So the Alpala deposit is open in multiple directions, and the mineralized corridor marked for drill testing of the greater Alpala cluster occurs over a 2.2 kilometer strike length from Treviño in the northwest to Cristal in the southeast. It's got multiple phases of mineralization. It's highly complex, rich, and oxidized. There are intersections that make it stand out as one of the best in the world. The high grade affords us early development opportunity, and it's well suited to block caving, which is one of the world's best bulk underground mining techniques. It's basically an open-cut, upside-down mine using gravity, which comes for free as your mining technique with no stripping. So this is our resource estimate. It was based on 53,616 meters of drilling. And as I said, we now have a further 56,000 meters. So you can expect a major resource growth update later this year. So in short, Alpala is big, it's getting bigger and richer. As I mentioned, 110 kilometers of drilling has been completed on the project. There are 11 rigs, Alpala and 1 Aguanaga, and this will change to 10 and 2 respectively soon. SolGold geologists are realizing high-grade intersections outside current inferred and indicated resource blocks along the southwestern margin of Alpala Central, and current infill drilling within the Alpala Central high-grade core is predicted to significantly increase the high-grade resource tonnage. So as I mentioned, we're focusing on expanding the resource. On the long section, you can see the Alpala deposit of 1 billion tons on the right, and the left-hand side, Treviño and Moran targets. Hole 37, which is the red trace at the bottom of the slide, is starting to go into Treviño, and that's what we're really excited about. And we're hoping that there's another billion tons there with another 200 to 300 million tons of high grade in the middle. This is the current drill plan at Aguanaga, and I'm rapidly running out of time, so I'm just going to switch onto our conceptual plan. So what we're thinking is that we'll have a 6-kilometer straight decline into the bottom of the ore body and put the mine face right on the high grade. So just to touch quickly on the other concessions, as I said, we have 73 concessions over approximately 3,200 square kilometres of the highly prospective copper belt. They're all 100% owned. And we've already defined a new porphyry belt in the south at La Hueca, Timbara and Porvenir, and also a high-grade gold prospect at Blancanieves, which is just north of Cascabel. And finally, I mean, Ron touched it at Lundin. We're all working very hard in Ecuador to create a sustainable and long-term mining industry, and it's been at the heart of all of SolGold's operations from the very beginning. So just in summary, we're building a copper company. We have a very significant project at Cascabel, and it's getting bigger, and we have the concessions to replicate this discovery many times across Ecuador. We have the team to do it, the endorsement from strategic investors, funds in the bank to execute our strategy in an ever-increasing attractive fiscal environment and rising copper and gold markets. Thanks. Thanks, Adam.